Hello and welcome to Beyond the Blind, where we'll talk about everything from hunting tips and techniques to wild stories that only come from time spent outdoors. So grab your gear, tune in, and get ready for the podcast that takes you beyond the blind. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Beyond the Blind. We appreciate y'all chiming in and checking us out. I'm Pat and I'm here with my beautiful co-host Kelly. And today we're going to be talking about coyote hunting and the benefits behind it, and have a little fun with it, because coyote hunting is that. It is fun. It's you're always moving, changing up spots, playing the wind.
I hate that
Why?
because you make me carry all my stuff.
Well, you're gonna hunt, you're gonna have to start carrying your own stuff.
No.
It's a lot to carry. I get it. But coyote hunting is one of those things that you have to do. I know a lot of people just kind of stick with, if they see them running through the field during a deer hunt, they might shoot at them. I know people that won't shoot at them, and I'm just like, why?
There's a lot of those on TikTok where they're sleeping on the porch
Right.
in dog beds.
That's
like
crazy.
Puppies.
That guy's a nut.
There's a couple of them, and they got the puppies in the house. They're not puppies.
They're not puppies. That is a wild animal that will maul your face off. But
Dixie will lovingly maul you. They will unlovingly.
Well, the reason why we wanted to bring this topic up is because, well, Kelly's first coyote hunt was 2 weeks ago. I think it was 2 weeks ago.
A weekend. No, I think it was on the weekend.
Yeah.
So a week and a half.
But she got introduced to it with me. We were actually able to go hunt a good friend's property and kind of help him out with getting rid of some of his coyotes and any other, wild dog, or if we could find a bobcat or two, because they're out there. Same with foxes, but.
And what did you discover I was an expert at calling?
She's an expert at calling, making the bobcat sound.
Was it distress or in heat? No, in heat.
Yeah. Why don't you go ahead and do it for everybody?
I don't think I can right now. Let me sip a little more on my drink and
warm up a little bit.
Yeah, and then you'll be talking about something and I'll just randomly do it.
Yeah. But this is kind of like a basic intro to coyote hunting, kind of what you need gear wise, and it's nothing so extensive. I mean, really, we'll kind of go down the rabbit hole with what all I use in my setup and what I have set up for Kelly. But hers is actually about to change as soon as SIG decides they want to send to her rifle, right?
My M400?
Mm-hmm.
I'm just waiting on my email.
Just waiting on the email. So hopefully when she gets hers, we can rig it up and get it ready to go. Because that's really, 223 really is all you need. Killing coyotes is predator control, trying to have that wildlife balance, right? Because if you have too many coyotes running around, too many foxes, your other wildlife starts to feel that pressure, and they don't feel safe, which means they could push your deer population nocturnal. Turkeys can disappear, and we'll go down that rabbit hole too with the turkeys, but because they have more predators than just the coyote. But it's also livestock protection and animal protection. Your pets, keeping them safe, because I know
a Pomeranian doesn't stand a chance.
It does not. It will snatch one of those little things up real quick, and it's becoming more prevalent in some of the cities as well. You're starting to see, I know, Vestavia and then Mountain Brook, they're starting to see coyotes coming into those areas, and pets are literally getting snatched off the porches.
My parents.
Yeah, your parents.
Living on a golf course that the owner, which they've sold it now, but It's not a golf course.
It's not a golf course. It's a wildlife management area at this point. I mean,
it is
it's all
inside of
overgrown.
a gated community,
Right.
and there are coyotes living where whatever on the green.
We
It's
heard
not
that
the green
pack
anymore.
that was out
And
there
there's
that one night.
moms and babies and daddies, and they're all eating everything.
Everything.
Children.
Yeah,
I'm
I mean,
they can't. I know they can't, but they haven't been.
Right.
But
luckily.
not yet.
And I know a lot of people that do it for sport. A lot of people do it for sport.
John McMinn said it'll definitely make you nervous when you're turkey hunting and they come to your turkey call.
Right. Yeah, me and a buddy of mine named Blake, we were turkey hunting a couple years ago, and same thing. He was calling, and sure enough, man, they had to have been 50 to 100 yards from us, a whole pack of them. So, it's all about
To your turkey call, not your bobcat in heat.
Not my bobcat in heat. There it is. But
it even called that tomcat that night from the back side of our house all the way around the house to the front door.
He did. Now he keeps coming back around.
Yes, I saw him today.
I saw him the other night when I was taking
Dixie out.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a problem.
It is a problem. Have to get rid of them too.
John said 2 popped out about 10 yards. I got 1. The other got away.
Well,
you caught one?
If you're shooting that TSS, you probably could have popped that second one too. But really, for me, I will ruin a deer hunt to kill a coyote in a heartbeat because if they're out there, your deer aren't coming out. I mean, I might have seen one deer come out after I've seen a coyote, but 9 times out of 10, you're not. So your best bet is to go ahead and lay them down when you can. But most of what we're going to be doing is night hunting. And we just have a little bit better opportunity at night just because of our work schedules and having 2 boys that are younger. So it kind of nice, John. I like that. But it's just easier for us to do it at night.
Yeah.
Now, you don't need a whole lot of stuff to go coyote hunting.
Then why did you pack me up with a whole lot of stuff?
Well, that's not a whole lot of stuff, really, with what you were carrying a tripod and your gun. That's it.
And my drink.
And your drink.
You got mad at me. The ice was making too much noise.
Yeah, because you had your Stanley.
I did. I needed it.
So.
I stayed hydrated.
You did. You stayed hydrated for sure. So got you calling them cats. But I mean, realistically, a shooting stick or a tripod, whatever. You don't have to have some 300 Win Mag out there to shoot coyotes. I mean, you can by all means.
But it works.
But it works for sure. I think we've got an electronic game call. We've got our 2 ARs that we have set up.
But we don't need the electronic game call.
No, we don't by any means. I mean, you can go out there with the traditional mouth call or the mouth call. But yeah, I mean, that's all you really need. And find you places that you can set up and have good cover. And really, I mean, at nighttime, great cover isn't all that necessary unless you've just got just a full moon, which they're not going to be running super hot and heavy on a full moon anyway. Now you might have some, but realistically, they're not going to be running like that. So find you some low-hanging branches and sit up under them, and you should be good to go.
The night vision, whatever, is really cool until I can't see because.
Right, and that's the thing. It's you can use night vision, which we don't use night vision. We use
thermal. Thermal is really cool until I can't see because I don't have good eyesight anyway.
Right.
I don't have depth perception at night, and that was another. You just kept walking like it was nothing. And I got short little legs and I'm not sure footed. And so you're 50 yards out and I'm like, well, it's dark.
I'm just
I can't see you.
trying to move to get to the next spot.
Mm.
But, that's the other thing. Night vision versus thermal. We use thermal. Luckily, those ones that I just picked up are awesome.
Yeah, we don't use night vision. We use thermal.
Right. So, what's up, Tiki Taki World?
Your mama said hi.
Hey, Mom. But we use thermal because I feel like I can see better with thermal. Night vision, it's infrared, so you have to use IR lighting to enhance the vision of that optic.
What suppressors are you running?
So the suppressors that I'm running are, I've got let's see, on that one I'm using, I'm in the 6mm arc, I'm using the KG made KG6M. Now, they don't make that one anymore. They do the 6.5 still, and they do the 308. And I don't typically run dedicated cans for specific guns. I usually just use a 30 cal. So like what you were running on yours was a 30 cal, and you were running the Rex Selenium MG8, I think is what it was.
So, yeah. That's what. Yeah.
Yep. And they make a difference. They make a huge difference. It's okay. You'll learn it. You're learning.
I don't need to learn it. That's what I just need to shoot it.
Right. That's what you got me for, right? But just a basic setup like that. You don't have to run suppressors either. I mean, that's not a must-have. To me, it's a must-have, and I think to you, it's a must-have because you don't have to worry about hearing protection and all that extra. That's just extra stuff that you have to bring along with you. If you don't want to spend the money on Walker's game ears or the ear muffs.
Sounds like something extra I have to carry.
It sounds like extra you have to carry. I mean, a silencer is nice because it's, you put it on your gun and leave it. You're good to go. But kind of, for me, the thermal is the way to go, though. And we use Pulsar is what we're using, and you can get in a Pulsar anywhere from probably about $2,800 up to 10 grand, really. I mean, it's a lot of money, but it's a very good investment because you can, I plan on coyote hunting and hog hunting at night a lot this year, trying to get ready, knock out some of these predators for next deer season. And the upside to most all of your thermal is you can set different zeros. So if you have a quick detach mount on it, you can put it on a 22 and go shoot coons or raccoons or possums, which is another one that's another predator that's killing off your turkey population.
We don't like possums.
We don't?
They cause issues for horses too.
I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm. Big ones. But we won't get into that. There's a disease that they cause that, Scarlett said 81 days to lake season. Sorry to interrupt. And then John said standing by the mailbox. Excuse me. Standing by the mailbox waiting on the invitation.
You're welcome to come whenever, brother. You have an open invitation. Just call me and we'll go.
We just leave the kids at the playground behind us, and then we just go back behind because these new neighborhoods that are being built are encroaching. So all those coyotes end up in the field right behind the playground, but the kids are safe. Yeah, it's nighttime, but we get a babysitter, and then we just go out to the fields.
Yeah, she's totally joking. We don't leave our kids out at night.
We don't go behind the park.
No.
In city limits.
I'd like to, because there are some out there. And they are probably about to start moving in because they haven't, built all those neighborhoods behind us. With the thermal, I mean, you can have all these different zeros set and not really have to worry about re-zeroing it for every gun. Once you re-zero it for or once you zero it in each profile for each gun, all you got to do is pop it off with that QD mount and move it over, which is really, really nice. So thermal for us is the way to go.
Not night vision.
Not night vision. There's a lot of people that do use night vision. I if I'm buying night vision, I can't buy digital. I got to buy the analog because I feel like the analog is better. But the problem with the analog night vision is it's almost double or triple the price.
What is the difference in analog and digital?
So digital is like a camera, right? So it's like what we're using now, thermal, but it doesn't give you heat signatures. It's just a like you're looking through a camera with a green tint, basically. Whereas a analog, you're looking through the tube at an actual animal, right? So it's like looking through a scope, but it's enhanced. So you're getting the light from the moon, the natural light is what's enhancing everything. And then you have to add on a flashlight that's IR to help enhance even farther out. Oh, John Sutherland's watching, huh? You could be over here talking, but you're not. Drinking.
Talking and drinking.
I know that you're injured right now, which we'll get to that in a little bit.
Well, injury or not, he could speak into a microphone, and then there would be less pressure on me. I swear I had a filter on this. I look terrible. Because you could be talking, but now I'm stuck.
It's okay. You're making the good calls. But yeah, so that's why I use thermal. But as far as like calibers go, you can use anything that you have. It doesn't have to be anything special. You don't have to, go out and buy a designated rifle. You can use your deer rifle because they make clip-on thermals now, which is another one that we use that I got just recently. That you'll have to zero the clip-on thermal to your rifle scope, but it's really easy. It takes about 3 shots and you're re-zeroed. And then that way you're not having to go and buy a new scope and new rings and all this other stuff. You're just putting it on and you're going. So
clip on.
Yep. But yeah, you don't have to use anything special. We have dedicated, just because I've been in this industry for a long time and I've got specific calibers that I use for specific things. I'm using, and y'all are going to hear me say this a lot, I like the 6mm arc. I think it's a great all around.
Me too.
But it's, for coyote hunting, it's awesome. I know I've got John, my buddy that's on the TikTok, he's using it now. And then 223 is a really good one as well. Kelly uses a 223 for hers. And, if you've got, I shoot supersonic 300 blackout for that. Now, you're not taking super long shots. Like if you have one come out, you're not going to take a super long shot, but it is what it is. Yep. And, but yeah, there's no need to go out and buy some specialized specifically for that. She's getting it. I was totally expecting one to come out though that night, because we were sitting on the power line that bobcat usually comes through.
Oh, the coyotes came out.
The coyotes did come out. So I want you to tell everybody about your first coyote hunting experience.
It was incredibly physical.
Like how?
You made me carry a tripod that came apart and it was incredibly difficult to carry.
Yeah.
And there should be a backpack and straps. And you kept moving, and I like deer hunting because I get my space and I stay in my space and I have everything set up. Now, I had a lot of fun because I didn't have to be quite so,
Right.
I don't know what the word is, but quiet and, just discreet.
Right.
But you moved way too much for me. And I wanted to sit and try more.
Well,
Because we moved, I felt the longest we sat still was in the alley.
mm-hmm.
But I felt like we only spent 15 minutes or 20 minutes, and maybe that's what you're supposed to do. But I was like, I just want to give it a second.
So just so you know, we spent between 30 and 45 minutes in each spot, except for the alley. We spent about an hour and a half there.
There's no way we spent an hour and a half. Only, okay, maybe, but we weren't sitting. We might have been in the vicinity.
Right.
But we weren't sitting watching.
Yeah. But it was about an hour and a half. And we spent another 30 minutes in the vicinity. Because we did stay out longer than, and the other thing is we moved around a little bit. I've seen deer, or I've seen, not deer, we're not deer hunting at night.
We are not, or out of season.
Right, no. I've seen coyotes at all these spots, and the wind was actually pretty good, but it was still blowing in a weird direction. So I wanted to kind of try and beat the wind where we were. And
do you have to worry about wind?
You do, because coyotes they have a good sense of smell. So, but
I didn't smell.
I was trying to, well, I mean, it's any smell, not unnatural to the area.
I did smell slightly like Diet Coke.
Diet Coke, yeah. But, we moved to try and beat the wind, and everywhere in the hole, excuse me, the hole where we ended up being the best spot for the wind, and that's why we saw
in the alley.
Yeah. I think we found the good wind in the hole, and I mean that's where we ended up getting to.
Mhm.
So. Yep.
No, that's.
It's close.
That was where the red fern grows. It was not.
But yeah, I mean you want to play the wind. You want to you want to move around because you don't want to sit there and overcall as well. So that's why I don't sit there and continuously run that call because we want to.
Well, you changed it.
And we did. You want to change it up. That way, it doesn't sound like whatever, like a recording. Right?
That's why you need to be able to do calls on your own.
Yeah.
And I can get a little cheerleader megaphone out there.
Well, and then really you don't need it that loud. That's another kind of misconception is you don't want to run that call on the highest level that it is. And that's why we weren't running it on the highest level. We were running it about
Listen, they came for my bobcat.
They did.
That's when they came out.
Yep. But we're going to continue to work that area. And then John's got some spots. I think he's going to let us come with him too.
If he ever gets out of the house from his injury.
Right.
Where he's sitting right now.
Yep.
Poor Courtney.
Oh, I guess she's been waiting on him hand and foot.
God bless her.
Yeah.
You and him are awfully needy. I can't imagine. With an injury.
Awfully needy. How you figure?
I've seen the bromance. I know what you're like.
Taking care of the coyote population is a big deal, especially if you're a deer hunter. And if you're in the woods and you see them when you're deer hunting, you need to make sure that go ahead and take them out because they're there, which means the deer are not going to be around. They're pushing the deer away. Kill the coyotes. How cool would it be if this summer
John Sutherland said doesn't necessarily ruin your hunt either.
We can play back and forth on that. I do believe that it does. And that's my opinion.
I would like to say that it might not because my first deer I dropped and it was out there with another one. And the second one took off and then came back. So why would it be any different?
Well, that's a gunshot, not a coyote.
Right, but why would it be any different if I take something down and it's down on the ground, why would it not come back?
Yeah, I mean, I get it.
If the second deer I shot was present for the first deer I shot and said, hey, my sister,
Had a heart attack.
and it was really loud,
Yeah.
and then I come out to eat more grass next to her on the ground, why would taking a coyote out?
I feel like it's going to be the smell. I feel like it's going to be the presence of danger, whereas we're concealed to a degree and have cover sense, and we have a shooting house that's kind of keeping a lot of that suppressed. I don't know. I just feel, and that's why I would like to have had him here, and then we can banter back and forth. But somebody decided to go and have his appendix removed
John, he
because
just
he
called
was
you out.
because he was feeling bad. So
He needed a little attention.
he did.
He really wanted you to show up.
I
And
told
you've
him all he
bailed.
had to do was call me.
You were at the boat expo, and we thought his wife had finally done it.
Yeah, we did.
She wouldn't.
Now he messed with me though, just so y'all know. John sends me a picture with 3 holes in his stomach, and he said, "Well, I was at the boat launch, and this guy started mouthing off, and I mouthed off back, and he shot me 3 damn times in the stomach, and I was like ready to leave.
Yeah.
I was ready to leave. I was like, who
We
was
were
it?
at Bass
Where?
Pro Shop
Yeah.
at that point.
I was like, where? What dock? Who is it? I'm coming. I was getting ready to go out there and handle some business for you."
And he called you, John Sutherland, and I did ask, did Courtney finally shoot him?
Yeah, she did. She thought it was Courtney. I believed your story though, because
I thought it was Courtney. He's laughing. I was like, she did it. She finally did it. It didn't work.
right.
She needs to come out with me, and we need to target practice more for next time. Just kidding. That was a joke for legal purposes, allegedly for educational purposes only.
Right. But so how about we try and put together a coyote roundup and do kind of like a fishing tournament where everybody puts in some money into a pot. Whoever has the most or the most weight.
Who has money?
Well, I don't have money, but we put in and then pay out first, second, and third place.
John, he's talking to you right now. He's not talking to me.
No, I'm talking to you because we don't have to have land to do it. They bring it. It has to be in the state. They have to bring it. We'll find a spot where we can weigh them.
Who? Where? What?
That's what I'm saying. We can maybe get with Cody and Danielle. They have a scale, like an official scale, and we can say, hey, maybe we can have Danco sponsor it.
McMahon? No, he doesn't. He does not.
I think it's a good idea. Is that what he's saying?
No, he said, we know Pat got money.
Oh, whatever. No, I don't. But
Danielle's laughing. Oh, my God.
But, I mean, why not? Why wouldn't we do that? Maybe we try and do it.
Yeah, let's do it. And you know what? We're going to get my ALADC girls involved.
Yeah.
And y'all just go. It's a free-for-all across the state. We'll meet you up
and then
March 31st. Bring in whatever you got.
Yeah, we have a time set up. Yeah. You have to be there by that time.
We're going to meet up at Danco Processing at 11:59 on March 31st. From here until then.
What? Well, I mean,
what is your plan?
I don't know. I'm spitballing here. Maybe we put it out there. If somebody wants to do it, we'll set up everything. I'll get with Cody and Danielle, see if they would be interested in doing it.
Hey, Danco. They're on the tiki-talkie right now.
Well, ask them.
Danco, what you got?
Y'all want to be a sponsor on it? Why not? I think it'd be fun.
Yeah, it would be
publicity.
You know what?
For everybody.
Get John could be a sponsor.
Yeah, John's business could be a sponsor.
ADC could be
a sponsor.
I got about $50 to put into it.
Perfect.
I'll pay for.
But and then how about this?
Daniel said we don't have money.
All right, we all just be a name sponsor because I'm going to be a name sponsor as
apparently
well.
we just need your scale.
Yeah, and then have everybody bring them down, and we weigh them, and we do by the weight. How about that? Not by quantity, but by weight.
What are they winning?
I don't if we get everybody to put in, say $25, right? $25 is the
And
entry
you
fee.
win, and I love your meat. Beef jerky card.
No. Listen, because everybody puts in, and whoever first, second, third will do a payout. First, second, and third, and that's where all the money from the entry fees go is into the payout.
Repeat what you just said because you just hit that harder than I ever hit anything.
Okay. So you put in money, right? Say everybody puts in $25. And then all the money from the entry fees goes to the payout. First, second, and third. Whoever has the highest weight is obviously number one, and then second and third. You pay out second and third. Whether it be even third place being just your entry fee back in. And we just have to base it up.
Yeah, man. You set it up. Listen, if you can set it up, and so like basically people are hunting their own. We're not.
They hunt their own property, but they have to bring them in, and they can't be Stifford and Dick's Hat Band. I mean, they've got to be, obviously, and we'll do the date. They have to bring them in that day.
Austin, we're doing apparently a coyote
roundup, maybe
hunting competition. Weigh in to where, I guess, from a given date to a given date.
Yep.
You go. You go to wherever and hunt, and then I guess bring it to Danco for weigh-in.
Yep.
And payout is for first, second, and third.
Yep. Yeah. What?
Yeah. No, I think like that. I'm just explaining.
Yeah, I think
because he had to leave.
And again, we'd have to talk to
Danco
and find out if they'd be willing to be a participant in it. But I think it'd be good. It'd be good to give people a chance to get out to their own property and help manage their wildlife, because it's nothing but a positive for whoever enters this, because now they've got a reason to go out and hunt.
Yeah. Danielle said bring it on.
Okay. Well, we will hammer out some details, and we will put those up on all the books and all the Instagrams and everything.
Danco and ALADC.
Yep. And then if you want to, we'll figure out entry fees and figure out dates and times and all that good stuff.
I don't even know where you start with this.
So we did it when I was at HTC. We did Big Squirrel Contest. And so with the Big Squirrel Contest, the way he did it was you could bring in a squirrel, and it went by weight, right? And so if you bring one in and you weigh it, if you can rebuy.
What does that mean?
So say, and this was a different contest, but with the big squirrel, you could bring in one squirrel at a time, and then if it weighed whatever, and you were like, I think I can get a bigger one, you can rebuy in and go and kill another one, right? It can't be something this has to be shot, right? It can't be something you plucked off the side of the road. It can't be roadkill, okay? It can't be hit by a car.
John S. Three-person teams or less. 9 p.m. until daylight. All teams must stay together through the duration of the hunt.
See, John, I like that. That's why you needed to be here tonight, but you're not. So, but yeah, I like that.
I'm uncomfortable when daddy and daddy fight.
It's weird.
I know.
But yeah, let's definitely hammer out the details on that.
You, Sutherland, and McMahon can handle that.
But Okay. So,
He said I'm in Huntsville working, sweetheart.
okay. It's okay, baby. I had to get you uncomfortable for a second. So, I wanted to also talk about what I got in the mail the other day. Because I think it's neat. What did I get in the mail the other day in my office?
Oh, it's for me.
Yeah. What was it? Pull it up. Get it.
Well, it's for me, but
I know.
because
Right. No, I get it.
I'm the face on Facebook.
You are. So, what is it? The Prince of Poachers, Part 1 by Charles Beatty.
See, you want to read the back?
Yeah. Sought till caught. The final chapter, my arrest and capture on the world famous Kennedy Ranch in Deep South Texas, would bring an end to my 22-year reign as king of the outlaw deer hunters in Kentucky in Kennedy County. Read in the account multitude of stories from beginning to end, a long ride of excitement and thrill-filled adventures, the many hot pursuits from game wardens and Kennedy Ranch security, and their endless efforts to bring this outlaw deer hunter to justice. No way this true story won't end up on the bestsellers list, but you've got to read it and believe it. See for yourself, a must-have for all deer hunters everywhere. And so the publisher, this Charles Beatty, author, sent this to us, and this is super neat. I'm excited to read it
It wasn't sent to you.
it was sent to Kelly, but we're super excited to read it. I think it's neat that we have somebody that that sent us this. This is sent Kelly this.
Mm-hmm. I'm excited to read story. It brings into light ethics and
Right.
but there's also the excitement of being an outlaw.
Yeah, and I can see that.
Kind of what he went through and the excitement. And I don't really have a lot to talk about now, but it's called The Prince of Poachers Part 1. Ex-outlaw deer hunter Charles Beatty tells all in his epic true story hunting adventure thriller. And from my understanding, a lot of his stories on his Instagram too. But I'm really excited to read about it.
Yeah, I am too.
But you finally brought it in yesterday.
I did, yeah. I got it the other day at work, and then...
And you were a little worried, I think.
Well, so they bring in the mail and they start handing it out, and I'm like, what is this? I was like, somebody is probably going to try and send me something to kill me. Didn't know what it was. Never know nowadays.
How'd you figure out it was for me?
Because I opened it and finally read it.
And it does. I do feel very honored that anybody would sign something and sign it to me.
Yeah.
And doesn't mean I necessarily agree with practices that he practiced at the time, but it's still something to read about and come back and share about.
Yeah. So I appreciate it, and I know Kelly does too, so thank you. But I think that'll do us for tonight. I think we've got a lot of good information out today, and I know we didn't post last week, and we appreciate everybody continuing to listen and go over and listen to our previous podcasts. I know, I think 1 through 3 were a little spotty on the sound, and right, it's kind of all over the place, and we're getting a little bit better every time we do it, and we appreciate those who have stuck around and listening to us. I'm sitting here looking at the pace of the podcast and how each episode is done. I don't know how to work this.
McMahon.
Oh. Yes, I'd love to go out and ride with y'all one day. I think that would be a lot of fun.
I'm not sure I could handle the adrenaline.
Well, she doesn't like the way I drive on the road, so she definitely wouldn't like the way I drive on the off road. Guys, we appreciate y'all listening, and we hope to have you back on. Thank you so much. Thank you for your continued support. We appreciate it, and we will see y'all soon. Thank you. God bless. Have a good night.